Hello everyone, Voodoo here. Now this video is a little later than I normally do, but today we're here and we're going over the first 3 bosses of Manaforge Omega Mythic. We're doing 3 in 1 because I'm a bit behind on them. We should have a Raz out, I believe next Wednesday is my plan for it, or middle of next week, and then we'll do Fractalist Soul Hunters and on after that. But for today, we're doing Plexus Sentinel, Loomithar, and Soulbinder Nizindri, all on Mythic, all on Havoc. And of course, if you want to see the full videos of these, because we're just going to do a little bit because they're like long kill VODs, check them out on my Twitch. I stream a lot now, actually, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm doing raid stuff, and then randomly at other times, I don't have anything set up yet, consistently for dungeons and stuff. So go follow me on Twitch, links in the description. Please do that, we're growing there. And also like, comment, subscribe, grow the channel. And with that, let's talk about talents, and then we'll get into the fights. All right, so first things first is talents, and I'm just gonna do this on the Wowhead thing, because I like their UI a little bit. So this is gonna be the best talent build for Plexus Sentinel and Loomithar, I believe. You'll see a lot of Eldrazi Reaver on Loomithar right now, and the reason for that is twofold. One, at earlier gear levels, those strand things actually live a little like long, and you can kind of get some cleave off of them. Like, not really, like it's not a lot, like really not at all, but there is some there. And then also a lot of people early on just don't have the gear for Felskard, especially with how much haste the Eldrazi Reaver wants early on, with how strong proc trinkets and the cloak are. That drops off a bit as you go higher gear level and your abilities start to do more damage rather than your procs, but you know, that's a thing. Some people see people on, you know, Warcraft logs and they're like, oh, I'll play Eldrazi, whatever. I do believe Felskard is better for this fight, but you can play Eldrazi, which will just be the same build for Soulbinder. Now, we're going to cut here because you'll notice I'm playing a different build. This is the best single target build if you're not doing weird cheese, but if you're doing weird cheese, then there is a better build for Felskard than single target, which we're going to cut to. So this is the better single target build for Felskard. It's better than the other one, better than Eldrazi Reaver, and you'll notice we're dropping Chaos Transformation and Looks Can Kill. Now this is similar to the Nice Themes build, but it is different. It is different in a few key areas, specifically Chaos Transformation being gone, and playing Blind Fury and stuff like that. I'm going to go over this more in depth on Monday in the video, but this is the build if you are pre-stacking cycle that you should play. If you are not pre-stacking cycle, this build is not better, and do not play Chaos Transformation. It's a very bad node in this build, but this is the build that is the best pure single target if you are pre-stacking Cycle of Hatred. So you're going to cycle into raids with 4 stacks of Cycle of Hatred. Otherwise, play the other one. Then for cleave fights, we can just simply play our nice Exergy, Eldrazi Reaver single target stuff. You have some choice here. Personally, I play Uncomfortable Spirit just because it's easier. It doesn't really make much of a difference, but they're both good. And then Keen Engagement for single target-esque stuff, Preemptive Strike for more cleave, and then here you go. Again, you can play Inertia on both of them for a gain, but Inertia is one of those things where it's like harder for most people for a fairly small gain. So those are all of the talent builds. I'll link them in the description along with like what boss I'd use them on. And with that, let's break down the fights. All right, here we are in Plexus Sentinel. So what I'm going to do on these is talk a little bit about the fight and then go through, and we're going to like not do the whole thing because there are 3 videos in this and each of them are like 7 and 8 minutes long. So this here is our second week kill. I was actually sat for the first week kill just for like vaults and shit. But just here I am doing the Felskard shit, so I'm not actually getting any changes. Now there is a small, oh, I didn't mute it. Ooh, that's freaking me out. I didn't mute it, but there's a small thing you can do for your own like visuals, I guess. If you turn up particle density, you can see the souls easier. Now there's a bug in the game right now where you can't actually see there's a thing where you can like turn on or off other people's visuals, and it's not actually working. Also, fun little fact. So I don't know if anyone notices this, but my trinket swapped. So what happened is that I had this trinket on my bar, and as we come in here, you can notice it's not here. I push it by accident before I'm in combat, which equips it. But I can't use it. So effectively, I actually don't even have a trinket for this fight, and I actually end up parsing like a 99, I think, which is horrible because I could have done it better. I'm playing this rotation like horrible. I'm bungling it a lot, but this fight's like really easy. If you get those puddles on, you bring them to the side. I don't even know if melee can get them if you have a lot of range. Dodge the swirlies on the ground. The tank bombs hurt, especially in the first phase. And the big thing here is the wall. So the wall, you want to just kind of go at an angle and then use your cloak. If you go straight through, you will die, because if you ever hit this top wall up here, you just immediately fucking vaporize, pardon my French, and you just die. So that's pretty much it. this is the soak. So how our guild does it is we have range take the first one, and then we go in as melee and take the second one. It's kind of just, you know, damage happening. Don't use your essence break there if you're playing the Felskari build. You want to hold it for your next beam, pretty much. Again, I'm playing this horribly. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like my first time actually playing this. I didn't practice it at all before. But yeah, so then you DPS this guy and you get in the intermission. In the intermission, there are these 2 ads. And you need to kill these ads. And the placement is different for each like intermission, like where they spawn is a little different, and you have to dodge a bunch of stuff. So there's traps, there's swirlies on the ground, there's bubbles, and then the boss will shoot a wall at you, and the wall you have to like get through using your cloak. So cloak's only a 15-second charge. You can also use cloak to get through all of these like bubbles and all these beams on the ground, and the beams do hurt you if you hit them. They're not that, it's not that serious. I believe I'm like 708 or 706 or something in this, probably 708. In this, I actually haven't gotten a single piece of mythic loot yet from Mythic Raid, which is crazy. Like I haven't gotten a single thing. But you know, say Levy. But DPS the shield down. The shield does start to hurt at the end, so if you have any personals, I would recommend using them. You can see there though, I got ticked by the beam for like a quarter of my HP. Like it's not like that big of a deal. And then the fight just repeats. So we'll skip ahead a little bit because like nothing happens. And I just want to talk about the next intermission, basically. If you want to watch the full thing, again, it is clipped on my Twitch. You can go check it out there. Stage 2. Oh, here's the wall. So again, wall. When the wall's coming, you want to just angle yourself a little bit. You can back up a little and basically have full uptime of the boss when you come out of your cloak. We'll skip ahead until he pushes us back again. Okay, so we are getting pushed back right after this knock. So I need to get out of it. I don't know what that. Oh, they were greeting damage. Get in, boom, knocks, and then we push back. Okay, so this one's a little funkier. So this one, we want to loop around and do our little damage here. Again, I wouldn't use your cloak. You could probably use your cloak to get through there. I wouldn't do that because you need it to get through the wall. With people starting to die, which is kind of something. Wall's coming, and then I use the cloak here. You can definitely just get through this thing as well. But it doesn't really matter. And then you just DPS the shield and yada yada yada. Again, you know, things start to hurt. Use defensive towards the end of this, especially if you're starting to drop people, because these shields take a while. That was horrible movement. You can just go around, right? I don't know why I went this way. You can just go around the other way. That was weird for me. But pretty much, you know, DPS the shield, and then we'll move on to the final one, because we do get all 3 here, because we have so many people just drop. And again, you know, shield's coming up. Okay, boom, there's my demon fragment. You want to just shoot through. For the next intermission, should be happening here in like 10 seconds. So right after this soak, we'll phase again, and this final phase is the most complex of them all, I will say, because he puts the most things on the ground. So we see there's one there, there's one way over there. So we go here, we DPS them down. So you don't have to move that much in order to DPS these down. And again, you know, DKs are good, but then we have this massive entanglement of walls here. So what I would recommend doing is just running up to this first one if you kill quickly, and using your cloak to go through both the first wall and this final row here. But if you kill slowly, you might have to loop around and go through the wall like this way. Like take it like through this side. But if you're pretty quick, you can end up taking it and going up through here as well. But pretty much like as long as you're going through one of these like walls of beams of balls as well as the wall moving at you, then that's what you want to do with your cloak. Like you want to just make it so that you can go through both at once. So I go through this one, it's the best. There's like no healers here until a bit after. We get like one healer here and then he outranges me, so a little spooky. But yeah, you know, then boss dies. End up doing pretty good. I'm like towards the top of the meters, which is good for DPS. And then we get good loot and I don't get any of it. Story of my life. That's first boss. We're gonna talk about Soulbinder now. All right, we're here on Soulbinder. This Soulbinder was a little bit ago, actually. Everything else is from this week. This was from last week. So first kill stuff, yada yada yada. Big thing here is you just want to cleave. It's hard to parse if your guild is going to do like the meta strat. And also I've seen some people do a thing where you like hold your meta for the first ad set, which comes out like 20 seconds after pull. I don't think that's worth it. If you're lusting, like just lust, like do damage and lust. But like the big thing here is you want to have damage for cleaving, right? Like you know, you just want that. So thing here is that I don't know which way is left or right, doesn't really matter, but the balls get absorbed by those canisters and you want to make sure you're going into them if you have it. And then here We can see that damage occurs, like the lines go out, boom, I have a glaive ready for it. I hold it, make sure my mark's in the boss, and then I just rip a big soul cleave. If you have I-beam, stuff like that, then you can do even more damage here, of course. But name of the game is just doing damage. Other big thing is the knockback. There are special places where you want to be knocked back. So you see here, I'll get knocked back together. Now the thing is that with wings, you will drop the puddle where you land. So you actually really don't want to use your wings. I believe someone like charged in, maybe the a warrior did or something there. I'm not actually sure. But you really don't want to like end up like putting your thing out of nowhere. See here, I'm kind of holding everything, waiting for us to go in here. Boom. Probably better to, I do that, and then I buff I-beam. Boom, good. And yeah, so if you have balls, just basically go into the canister. Otherwise, you really just want to be able to cleave everything you can. And then you use the knockbacks to be knocked around the room. And you don't really want to glide, because if you glide, you're going to leave puddles in weird spots. And that's basically the fight. This just repeats. I will show you up until one of the big remaining ad sets, and then I'll show you the end of the fight where we just kind of don't do anything and it works out, which is really, really funny, honestly. But this boss is a joke. I really can't see many guilds struggling with this unless like you really, lower down in the rankings or whatever. But really, really not hard, and you want to just cleave as much as you can as Havoc, basically. Like for every single one of these ad sets, you want to make sure you have a glaive, and then you can try and have a few glaives going into the intermission here, and boom, here's the intermission. So mark your target and start death sweeping. I think I just meta off rip. No, I don't. Okay, I'm holding my meta. Yeah, like just try and have a bunch of souls, go into the mission here, rip your combo on everything, and just absolutely shred, really. Meta was a little late there. I probably should have had a soul sooner, or maybe kept that last I-beam, but doesn't really matter. We'll get another one of those. So fight just repeats now, so we're just going to skip through a little bit because I don't want to, make this video too long. So yeah, everything happens again. We're cleaving. Remaining ads are going to come out in about a minute. So we'll do one more big ad phase after we break in the middle here. And then again, we're just cleaving on it all the time as best as we can. Boom, 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 cleave, I-beam, hunt in, try and save some glaives for the intermission here, so that you can like dump a bunch of glaives in and really like funnel into the boss and do damage that way, bursting them all. You see here, me and the other Demon Hunter are doing pretty good in the bottom right there. I'm Devour, he's Narco. And you do pretty good. And then, of course, the fight just becomes a target dummy. So after this, we don't break any more canisters out. We just kill the boss. He just dies. Which is unfortunate, because I would have done really well if we kept breaking more out. But, c'est la vie. Such is life. I have 18 stacks of the meteor on the guy, which is a good bit. And we just kill him from 100 to 0. So again, if you want to see this in full without me talking over it, check out Twitch. They're all clipped on there. And yeah, let's move on to Loomithar. All right, so here we are on Loomithar. Now again on Loomithar, I'm playing the prestack build. Now the prestack build is just going to be significantly better in P2. For P1, it can be a little, maybe you want the AR cleave, but I think at this point, like this is this week's kill. At this point, like I really think that the single target for Felskar is gonna be better, and like the balls really don't last that long anymore. So I really don't think like you can get that significant of cleave off of them. But playing AR on prog could be a good idea. Why did I wait so long to use my buttons? I'm not really sure. I think I was getting my soul. I don't know. Anyways, but like on prog, I could see you wanting to do maybe playing AR just for a little bit of safety. You could play the non-mover Felskar again for more safety. But yeah, like Tangles really don't live very long. Like there's really not that much damage being done here. I backflipped. One thing is watch out for these baits. I flip into a root and I have to immune to not die because the baits are there. So just bait a little better, I guess. This boss also has like a tiny ass hitbox. I play this horribly. I really should be using Immolation Aura here. I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing. Like really some bad play for me on some of these fights. I don't know why. Chaos Strike, I didn't use VR. So some weird shit going on in my rotations. But that's I guess what happens when you get a little flustered. So I'm actually a circle soaker, and people keep standing on circle and just taking my soak from me, which is like totally fine. If you are a soaker, then you really want to make sure you are like having a defensive for that. When you get to like 8 stacks well, 8 stacks you swap. When you get to like higher stack counts, then you really also horrible placement there of puddles. Jeez, guys. But when you get to high stack counts, like it really does start to hurt, and you really want to make sure that you have like enough defensives to like live through it. So when you're at like 4 to 6, you want to push blur for sure, and just hope that, you know, like no one's really stacking on you. Yeah, this is kind of the fight, and we're just doing damage to Tangles, doing damage to Loomithar. We're gonna skip ahead because like nothing else really changes. I guess I could show you guys another soak, but it really is just like try and cleave off the Tangles when you can with like beam or something. Otherwise, just like smack boss. And again, I do think Felskard's better. I don't think AR is great on this fight. You can see here I'm Loomi biased in the bottom right. I'm doing decently well on DPS. Would be doing better if I didn't troll at the start of the fight and then also flip into a strand, but at least I didn't die. And then here we go. Actually, I'm soaking. So this soak, I'm doing meta stuff. So it's always like super easy to soak it pretty well. I don't even use a defensive. Oh no, I do use a defensive. Look at me go. Look at me go. Yeah, and then that's the fight. That's basically it, right? We just kill Loomithar. So P2 is where things get a little more interesting. So we're gonna skip ahead. If it'll let me. Hello? There we go. Oh, I almost died to something. Oh, a soak. Oh, sorry, a puddle. Range baits on puddles were pretty atrocious in general. But yeah, so we kill, and then we go into the final phase. It phases at 50%. I believe there's a little delay. Yeah, there's a small delay when it gets a damage buff. So you want to hold stuff until it actually hits the ground. When Loomithar hits the ground, it takes 33% increased damage. And that's when you want to go. Why am I Chaos Striking before Essence Break? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. What am I doing? Anyways, this stuff is also allowing me to look at my play and tell me that I'm bad. But frontals are the only big deal here. Loomithar's hitbox, again, is atrocious. So if your tanks aren't moving super aggressively, there are tons of times where you can end up like not being able to hit. And then there's the pushback as well. So it'll push you back for like 3 waves and then do a little damage explosion. It's not that bad to like not get hit by it. Horrible puddle placement here, by the way. Like if these were here, we'd have a lot more room. But c'est la vie. Nothing you're going to do about it. Yeah. So it basically alternates between pushback and wave, and then I believe every pushback, the gunk on the ground spreads. Gunk on the ground will really hurt you, by the way. Like it's like really painful. Do I hunt? Yeah, I do hunt. Frontals don't hurt that much. Like towards the end of the fight is where you want to use your defenses on these things. Where's my soul? Oh, it's like over there. Horrible soul placement. That was a really bad RNG roll there. But towards the end of the fight, it is really where like things start to hurt. So I would save your defenses for then. And then again here, we see that the puddle is spreading. It's very hard. We have some ranged baiting these soaks because they're in the melee soak with us. So we have some range kind of baiting puddles in a weird spot. I would probably say if you're watching this somehow and you're ranged, have your range stand out over here if they're doing melee soaks. I think we have 2 healers doing it. But yeah, I mean, that's the fight. Pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing too crazy from here on out. You just kind of kill the boss, alternate between these 2 here. I have darkness here. I kind of move back into a good position here. And yeah, I mean, Loomithar. If you want to see, again, the full thing, it's up on my Twitch. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see me prog these things live. With that, we'll do our little ending. And there we go. Those are the first 3 bosses and some tips. There's nothing really that crazy in the first 3. It's basically just like on Soulbinder, cleave when you can. On the other 2, it's just like live, basically. Like I would say Felskard's better on the other 2. But you know, there is an argument to playing Eldrazi Reaver on Loomithar. Now, I don't know if that's a good argument, but there's an argument, so I'll mention it. There you go. That's the first 3. Video Monday, we'll talk about the cycle build and like a kind of a guide thing, because I do think it is better if you're doing the pre-stacking thing. And again, it's not the exact same as an Ice Beams build. An Ice Beams build is a little different and is worse than the No Mover build. Don't play that one. He just loves Couch Transformation, and my upstairs neighbors are vacuuming, so I hope you can't hear that. But yeah, so look for a Raz. I believe next Wednesday we'll do a more in-depth video because it won't be 3 bosses in one. And yeah, I mean, follow me on Twitch. Again, trying to plug that more. I'm streaming a lot more. And y'all are awesome. Follow me, like, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Alpha soon, hopefully. Bye. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Correlated, Alexander Trifonovich, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, Zuligan, Gabriel Correa, Magic Man 133, Falafadar, and Dark Terror. Again, a big thank you to everyone who watches my videos, but especially a big thank you for people who are helping support the channel. If you want to support the channel, become a channel member down below for a few perks. More to come in the future. And with that, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.